Hello students, now we have come to the last and final topic of the chapter, controlling, that is controlling process. In fact, this topic, controlling process, is the last of the book 1 of business studies. Clear? So in this lecture video we will study about the steps that are being taken place in the controlling process, and that we will see all the steps one by one in detail. As you can see, the various steps of control process are: the first step is setting performance standard, second one is measurement of actual performance, then comparison of actual performance with the standard set, analyzing deviation, and the last step is taking corrective action. The first step is setting performance standards. We all know the standards are the criteria against which the actual performance is measured. So, in the first step of controlling, first standards are set. Standards are set in both quantitative as well as in qualitative terms. Quantitative standards that are being set should be precise. It means it should be very much clear to the employees that what they have to achieve or what they have to earn. In case of qualitative standard, it should be properly defined to make its measurement easier, as sometimes standards are also set in qualitative terms such as improving goodwill and motivation level of the employees, like this. Clear? At the time of setting of the standard, it should be so much precise in the nature so that the comparison with the actual performance should be easier for the managers. But if the standards will be set in vague terms, then it will become hard for the managers also to analyze or to compare. Standards should also flexible in nature, because due to dynamic business environment in which the business firm is working, there is a possibility that there may be so many changes taking place in the internal as well as external business environment. If the standards will be flexible, then it will be easier for the managers to modify the standards whenever required. As you can see, the various standards used in the functional areas to gauge the performance. You can see in the slide, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 functional areas have been taken: production, marketing, human resource management, finance, and accounting. Production means standard is set in the quantity to be produced or quality of the product to be produced, what is going to be the cost of production, or what is the target given to the individual, and and the standard is set to measure the performance of the whole group. In case of marketing, when the quantity is set for the production department, it is the sales volume that they have to achieve, means they have to achieve the target sales volume of a certain amount of rupees per month or per year or per quarter, whatever. Human resource management, they are generally given qualitative standards to be qualitative standards to meet, that labor relations. Quantitative standards are numeric in terms, but qualitative standards are abstract in nature. We cannot exactly measure. Clear? But the standards that are set, whatever that you can see in the slide, few are quantitative in nature and few are qualitative in nature. Once the standards of performance are fixed or set, the next step is the measurement of actual performance. Performance should be measured in an objective and reliable manner. It means evaluation of work of actually done and the results are accomplished. Clear? The various techniques are used for the measurement of the performance. These include personal observation, sample checking, performance reports, etc. And the performance of the employees or the total work must be measured in the same unit in which standards are set. This makes the comparison between actual and planned performance easier. Generally, performance is measured after the task, but whenever and wherever possible, measurement of work should be done during the performance too. And no doubt it is always done after the work also. Clear? And the measurement of performance of an employee means the qualitative measurement may require a preparation of performance report by his superior. Means when they are measuring an employee performance, it has to be presented in the form of some sort of report. Clear? And measurement of company's performance involves a lot of calculation, just like profit ratio, net profit ratio, return on investment, like this, and it has to be done at periodic intervals. In small organization, each piece produced may be checked to ensure that it sticks to the quality specification that has been laid down. But in case of large organization, it is not possible to check each and every piece of production. So in large organizations, certain pieces are randomly selected from the total lot and they are checked for the quality. This is known as random checking. Next step is comparison of actual performance with the standards. This step involves comparison of actual standard with the standard. Clear? Such comparison means when such comparison is done, it reveals the deviation between the actual and the desired result. Actual means what has been done, and the desired one means what was pre-planned by the management. In case of quantitative standards, comparison is very much easier, but in case of qualitative standards, it is little bit difficult for the managers to compare. As you can say that performance of a worker in terms of units produced in a week or in a month can be easily measured against the standard output for the week. We have discussed the word deviation. Deviation means the gap or the difference between the actual performance and the standard performance. It is calculated when we subtract the actual performance from the standard one. Clear? And it must be kept in the mind that if the actual performance matches the standard, then there is no need of further action, as it means that everything is going under control and work is going according to the pre-plan. But if deviations are there, then the managers, they have to analyze the deviations. Some deviations in performance are expected in all the activities. So it is important to determine the acceptable range of deviation, means how much deviation can be tolerated in the job. And deviation in key areas of the business need to be attended more urgently as compared to the deviations in certain insignificant areas. Because if we will neglect or ignore the deviation in the key areas, means the areas which are strategically important, then it may hamper the ongoing process or the production or the job of the organization. So we can say that there are two main aspects of analyzing the deviation, that is critical point control and management by exception. These two tools are used by the managers to keep the deviations under the control and under the check. First, we will look into the critical point control. In case of critical point control, means when critical point control tool is being used by the manager, control is fixed or focused is fixed on the key result area, as it is neither economical nor easy to keep a check on each and every activities in an organization. So control should always focus on the key result areas, means which are critical to the success of an organization. So when anything goes wrong in these areas, means when anything goes wrong in these strategically important areas, then no doubt the entire organization will suffer. And the deviation, if any, in key areas are there, they are needed to be attended more urgently than anything else. In modern management, critical point control is also known as critical control point, that is CCP. Next tool is management by exception. It is also known as control by exception. There is a common saying that if you try to control everything, you may end up controlling nothing. Clear? So, only significant deviations which cross the permissible limit should be brought to the notice of the management. Deviation within the permissible limit, that is the minor deviation, should be ignored because some deviation in the performance is expected in all the activities that we know. Now what they have to do? After identifying the deviation, they are required to be analyzed for their causes. Deviation may have multiple causes for their origin. Sometimes it may be possible that the standards which were set earlier were unrealistic, or the process that they were using for the manufacturing the product was defective, or the resources was not adequate, or maybe anything. So it is important for the managers to identify the exact cause or causes of the deviation, which has to be rectified immediately so that no more deviation should be found in the whole process. Clear? The deviations and their causes are then, or they must be reported to the senior managers, and corrective action should be taken at an appropriate level as soon as possible. Now let's see the various advantages of critical point control and management by exception. As you can see that it saves time and efforts of the managers as they focus only on the significant deviation, means they don't waste time in considering the insignificant one. Next, better utilization of managerial talent, as attention only on the important areas. Rest insignificant things are delegated to the subordinates to take care of. Management by exception facilitates delegation of authority and increases morale of the employees. Clear? And the last one is keeps organization in the right track as it identifies critical problems. So when these critical problems are highlighted well enough, then from the next time managers and the employees, they will work hard to keep the deviations as low as possible, and that also to the non-strategic areas. Now the last step is taking corrective actions. The final step in the controlling process is the taking corrective action. No corrective action is required when the deviations are within acceptable limits. However, when the deviations go beyond the acceptable range, especially in those key results area, already we have discussed that it demands immediate managerial attention so that deviation do not occur again and the standards that has been set are accomplished as early as possible. In some cases, when the deviation cannot be corrected through managerial intervention or managerial action, then the standards may have to be revised. It means that the standards, whatever they have set, is not appropriate or it is irrelevant to be achieved. Now you can see few examples of corrective actions taken by the management. Just one side it is causes of deviation, and other side it is written corrective actions to be taken. In case of defective materials, it's better to change the quality specification for the raw materials used. In case of defective machinery, either repair the existing machine or replace the machine with a good one. In case of obsolete machinery, upgrade the machinery with the latest technology. When the process is defective, it's better to modify the existing process. And in case of defective physical condition of work, improve the physical condition of work. So now we have come to the end of the controlling process. Basically, with this topic, this chapter controlling ends. In this chapter, we have studied the concept of the controlling as well as its importance, and in this video, the process of the controlling stepwise was discussed in detail. As you know that many portion of the chapter has been deleted this year. So in the revised syllabus, these are the only part that are being included in the chapter. So now that's the end of the chapter 8 as well as the end of the book 1, that is Principles and Function of Management. When we will meet next time, then we will be doing the book 2 of the business studies, that is Business, Finance and Marketing. Hope you have understood all the 8 chapters of the book, starting from nature and significance of management to the controlling one. Till then, bye bye and thank you to you all.